A warm welcome to Business Daily on Trust TV. I am Yusuf Akogo. As usual, we serve you with the business top stories. Take a look. A whole lot happening there in the world of business, and just to draw your attention to the ongoing CBN non-oil export summit going on in Lagos. The summit is expected to draw the attention of the country to the potential in the non-oil sector. So a whole lot there that not really tapped from that sector. We have over-relied on crude oil for a very long time. Now that there is so much clamor for us to look at the other sector, especially in the non-oil sector, where we have quite a whole lot of mineral resources that have not really been tapped. Don't forget the gold in so many parts of the northern part of Nigeria. Of course, the solid minerals that we have in the middle belt, and of course, even the agricultural sector. That is quite a whole lot that actually need to be tapped from that sector. So that summit is going on. The CBN is fully supporting the non-oil export, and it's a way, of course, to boost the revenue of the government. Don't forget, currently we rely on oil sector for over 90% of our revenue, which is a huge number. So that is why whatever happened to the price of crude oil at the international market, it actually affects Nigeria revenue. So we hope that the non-oil sector summit being put together by the CBN, of course, that is the second edition, if I'm correct, is going on in Lagos, and we hope that a fruitful discussion is actually going on there, because captains of industry, they like to, the Dangote are actually present, and of course the CBN governor a while ago delivered a speech at that summit. So we will keep it up, and of course give you updates with regard to what is happening at that summit there in Lagos. So quickly we go to the stock market and tell you what how the stock fared yesterday on the floor of the Nigerian stock market. And we begin with the index, of course, from the capital market. Of course, let's look at the index from the Nigerian stock market. Of course, the all share index there appreciated 0.22% at the close of market on Monday. Of course, Monday was the first trading day of this week. The index there still stays strong, continue probably from where it has been for the past 3 weeks. Of course, the market cap also added a few millions of naira there to maintain the position there, 28.6 trillion naira. And of course, the volume of shares that traded, were traded by the investors that yesterday was about 511.384 million. Actually, volume of shares exchange house amongst investors yesterday, valued at 7.139 billion naira. That is a huge one there, though not so much when you compare to some other days, but again, this is a huge transactions there among investors. If you look at the deals there, 5,883 deals actually also exchange house there among investors across various marketing sectors on Monday. We'll look at the gainers on the day. The top gainers for the day, of course, the top three. We have the multivice there gaining 3 kobo 41, 3 naira rather 41 kobo to close top there at 10%, a very huge number there. The red stars also gaining 2 naira 65 kobo there to maintain the second position, 9.96% on Monday. Of course, the computer warehouse group, of course, an IT solution company, gaining 1 naira 45 kobo to complete the top 3 gainers of the day at 9.85%. Quickly, we look at the losers for the day. The top losers for the day, we are silencing also the losing 3 naira 59 kobo to close downward there, 9.80%. Of course, Transcorp, I was expecting a different performance from Transcorp yesterday, given the fact that their chairman was giving an award yesterday for their performance. I mean, Transcorp Power Limited, though, for their performance. I was expecting a reaction there in the market, but that is not what to be. They lost 1 naira 79 kobo there to close downward there, 7.73%. And of course, the FTN Cocoa is in the consumer goods sector, losing 27 kobo there to close downward there, 6.90%. That is a huge number there. Are the top losers for the day for Monday trading there. The market is going on. We'll continue to give you update as it goes on. But quickly, let's look at the top trades, the market movers. We call them market movers. All of them there being dominated by the banking sector. Of course, the banking sectors, banking equities are one of the most liquid on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. There you see Access Bank there doing greatly there, 168 million shares worth of the shares were actually traded yesterday. If FBN Holding First Bank of Nigeria Limited, Holdings rather, are also doing 91.3 million shares. Then of course United Bank for Africa, UBA, completing the banking sector dominance on Monday there, 78.1 million shares there exchanging hands among the investors in that sector. Quickly, we look at the sector's performance across sector. The AGS Bank in there, all the sectors rather closing green. Of course, who will be surprised when you see the NGS Bank in there strong there, 0.62%, industrial sector 0.03%, and of course when you talk of consumer goods, well represented there by the FTN Cocoa there, 0.56%. That's on the gainers chart. Then if the oil sector not really doing so badly, 0.36%, and of course the NGS Insurance also 0.81%. Insurance is one of the sector in the market that really need a whole lot of attention. Not so much is really been done there, but again, it's a sector that is also attractive to investors in this capital market. Whatever you have in the market, you can actually invest rather in this sector. Very, very interested there. Quickly look at the African market, the performance. Let's look at their performance across sector. Of course, let's look at the performance of the Sterling Bank rather. The Sterling Bank released their results last week on Friday rather. So the bank profit after tax, the PAT there grew by 28.5%. That is a huge number, of course, and the profit of the bank there also grew by 19.3 billion naira. That is a huge leap from 15 billion that he reported the previous year. That is an increase of, like I say, 28.5%. And of course, the total asset of the bank also grew by there 1.85 trillion. That is a huge number. Then, of course, if you look at the gross earnings of the bank, 175 billion there, and of course the customer deposit also strong there, 1.327 trillion naira, and of course the net operating income there, 108 billion naira. That is the result of the Access Bank for Q1 2023 that was presented on the floor of the Nigerian stock market on Friday. Of course, the one will not be surprised, because if you look at all the results that we've seen from the banking sector, from the Access Bank, Zenith Bank, of course, FCMB, down to Sterling Bank, all are all impressive results. So that is why we're actually seeing the reaction that in terms of how the shares of the banking sectors have done across marketing counters on so far on the trading floor of the market. So quickly we look at the African market before we talk to our investor. If our African market is ready, we can quickly take it before we talk to our stockbroker from the Nigerian Stock Exchange. If the African market is ready. If it's not ready, we quickly join Jamiu Mohammed, who joins me virtually from the trading floor of the Nigerian stock market. Jamiu Mohammed, good morning.
Good morning, viewers. It's a pleasure to be here on the program.
Good to have you again on the show. We've seen the banking sector dominating the top trade charts yesterday. What do you think is really do you think is really attracting investors to that? Investors to that sector? We see their result. Is it part of the reasons?
Yes, you can see that those that have dominated that sector includes Access Bank. Access Bank giving 1 naira 30 kobo final dividend after it has already paid 20 kobo, which is about 1 naira 50 kobo total dividend. Compared to the price is trading presently, yes, it deserves to be looked into, and that's the reason why investors are keen into that. And looking at also UBA. UBA is one of those that also dominated that sector too. We are having the same information. UBA is paying around 1 naira 10 kobo on their stock. Compared to the price is trading at today, is something that investor has to look into. Looking into GT, Zenith, and many of those banking sector, you see that they are seriously being pursued by investors. So this is not unconnected to the fact that people were thinking that they are seriously going to be affected by the cash crunch that we had earlier in the year. But as we have it, as they started releasing their first quarter results, they prove everybody wrong, and that is why most of the investors are pursuing this stock, and that is why it's having that huge of a dominance in the market as far as the trading is concerned.
Very, very impressive response there. Let's look at the Sterling Bank. You saw the highlights of their result that we just presented. So, in terms of dividends, how do you think the investors are actually reacting to this?
Currently now, Sterling Bank is trading. Sterling Bank is trading. Is losing 2 kobo to the results being released so far. The stock has moved from the region of 1 naira 50 kobo to the present of 1 naira 70 kobo. So it's one thing to release the result, and it's another thing for investors to display their sentiment about a particular the result being released so far. And don't be surprised. You might be looking at something else, and the analysts can be critically looking at something else. And these are the people that advise investors, and that is why we are having it as we have it this morning.
Okay, let's look at across sectors now. What is the current performance across sector? Now, the market is still in early trade, just about 2 hours or thereabout. So how are the performance across sectors at the moment?
Market fully open more than an hour ago, and total in the market traded, and we have about 124 million units of shares traded, value around 1.5 billion. Out of this, about 3 stocks constitute about 73% of traded value in the market. If you look at this value analysis of the traded in the market, you will realize that Access alone traded about 526 million, Geregut traded about 294 million, while UBA traded about 279 million worth of stock. And if you add these 3 together, that's about 1.1 billion. When you compare it to 1.5 billion traded in the market, you will realize that we have about 73% of value traded is accrued to these 3 particular stocks. And out of these 2, we have 2 banking stocks dominating the top trades for today. So you can see what we are talking about. And as we speak today, we have about 8 gainers and we have about 9 losers. So it's still early to say this is where the market will go. But as we have it, the market is always moving a trend. As we are technical analysis, and we look into the trend, look at the trend in the market, using both the volume and prices to know the direction of the market. I believe the market is still going to continue to close in the profit region, though it's now negative, but it is very, very minute. The level of loss is insignificant for now. So, predicting what's going to happen at the end of the day, I believe the market is going to return to positive territory.
Mr. Jami, before I let you go, in 2 weeks from now, or less, the Dangote refinery will be inaugurated by the current administration. We've not really had so much in terms of the performance of the stock from that company for a very long time, especially featuring on some of the top top gators. But what do you think will be the reaction of investors to that inauguration of the refinery? And of course, how will it impact on the profits of the company?
Dangote refinery is a different entity from Dangote cement. There is an investment arm of Dangote that is being used to invest in Dangote refinery. That is what we call Dangote Industries Limited, DIL. DIL is being used, is an investment arm that is being used to invest in a refinery. And whatever that happened to the refinery coming on board, starting operation, may not have effect on those Dangotes that are listed in the market. So having said that, we believe that we are hoping that, and we have also suggested to the richest man in the Africa to also look at the way that he can list this Dangote refinery on our floor, so that we can have depth of this market being influenced by this richest man on Africa. So Dangote refinery is a pleasure we are going to welcome it with all the pleasure that we have, because of the fact that what we are having now is something that we should not be expecting as a country to be doing, so that if Nigerian can be exporting crude oil and be importing refined products, this is not welcome at all, and it is not good for our economy. Anyway, whatever the case may be, whatever the time is coming, we will be happy to welcome it, and we want to use this opportunity to implore the businessman to list this stock on the exchange.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jami Mohammed, for your time on Business Daily this morning.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, all right. Jami Mohammed is the head of capital market at APT Securities. They're talking to us live from Lagos. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll go to Jeddah in Saudi Arabia to give you updates of what is going on at the Islamic Development Bank annual general meeting. Our man Salim Umar will give us an update. Don't go away.